Hey sassy lady, this is Matri, एक social media marketer, एक mother and a simple yet sassy woman just like you. ये है Little Fixes podcast, आपकी evergreen audio lifestyle magazine. यहाँ मैं और मेरे guest शेयर करते हैं sweet, simple and practical ideas to help you in improving every aspect of your life. Career, fitness, mental health and personal growth are just some of the topics we cover. This podcast is like the real talk you have with your real friends. So continue what you're doing and keep listening. Hello, Sassy Nari. Thank you for joining me today. So a disclaimer before we begin. I have a bad mouth ulcer on my tongue, so some words might sound different today. But the content is gonna be valuable as always, so stay with us. Today we are talking about our physical health and the topic is perimenopause. आप शायद पहले से ही इसके बारे में जानती हैं या ये टर्म आपने आज पहली बार सुना है. ये वर्ड मैंने पहली बार नेटफ्लिक्स शो वर्किंग मॉम्स में सुना था लास्ट ईयर एंड नाउ आई एम 36 years old. तो जब सुना तो गूगल किया और थोड़ा समझा. तो मोस्ट ऑफ अस हैव हर्ड ऑफ मेनोपॉज सिम्टम्स एंड आर प्रॉब्ली अवेयर कि आपको कंटिन्यूअसली 12 months तक पीरियड्स नहीं होते हैं तो यू हैव रीच्ड मेनोपॉज. हॉट फ्लैशेस, मूड स्विंग्स सब सुना है. बट डिड यू नो that these and other symptoms of perimenopause can last for over 4 years. कई women में सिर्फ कुछ months के लिए ही होता है. In short, everyone's body is different and our hormones play differently with us. तो एजिंग के अराउंड इतनी ज्यादा शेमिंग होती है कि हम इन नेचुरल फेजेस से डरते भी हैं और भी ज्यादा डर जाते हैं. सो इस तरह के चेंजेस के लिए मेंटली रेडी होना भी बहुत जरूरी है. Perimenopause mostly starts in late 40s or early 50s, but in some women it begins in late 30s too. Because most of us are in our 30s, I thought that it's an essential topic to discuss on Little Fixes. अच्छा, अब मेरी बातों पे मत जाइए क्योंकि मेरे साथ डॉक्टर एशा चैनानी है आपको इसके बारे में बताने के लिए और आपकी लाइफ की इस फेज के लिए आपको रेडी करने के लिए. तो डॉक्टर एशा चैनानी is a non-judgemental gynaecologist making health, reproductive education and sex ed easily accessible through her platform Premaa Health. She practices at Surya Hospital in Mumbai. उनसे जानेंगे कि पेरीमेनोपॉज क्या होता है, किस एज में होता है, is there ever a cause to worry about it and when to see a doctor. क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं अपनी लाइफ की इस फेज से और किस तरह के लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस करने चाहिए to deal with it in a better way. So let's welcome the doctor. Hi, Dr. Esha. I'm thrilled to have you on Little Fixes.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here and talk about such an important topic that is not really कोई बात नहीं करता है इसके बारे में. सब बोलते हैं कि हाँ ठीक है सबको होता है मेनोपॉज पर कोई बात नहीं करता है. So I'm very happy that we are finally talking about it.
Yes. So, डॉक्टर हमें सबसे पहले आप यही बताइए कि पेरीमेनोपॉज होता क्या है.
पहले तो जानेंगे कि मेनोपॉज होता क्या है. तो मेनोपॉज इज डिफाइंड एज 1 year, मीन्स एक कंप्लीट साल में अगर आपको पीरियड नहीं आया है देन यू आर क्लासिफाइड एज मेनोपॉज्ड. बट सडनली, सो बेसिकली मेनोपॉज क्यों होता है इज व्हेन योर एग्स रिड्यूस, हार्मोन्स जो ईस्ट्रोजन जो हार्मोन होता है फीमेल हार्मोन वो कम हो जाता है ड्यू टू एजिंग. नाउ इसके साथ hormones don't go from 100 to 0. वो धीरे 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 कम होते जाते हैं. तो इसके वजह से सडनली ऐसे नहीं होता है कि one day you wake up and you are menopaused या one day you wake up and खत्म हो गया period, finish the end. ऐसे नहीं होता है unfortunately. So जब ये hormones कम 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 होते जाते हैं we have something called perimenopause, which means the years around menopause. Now, in India, menopause hits younger than women in the US. So, जो women in the US have an average age of 50 for menopause. India में average age 46 to 48 है to get menopause. Now, perimenopause is the time जब hormones around जब कम हो रहे हैं, symptoms आ रहे हैं, ऐसे periods irregular हो रहे हैं, hot flashes हो रहे हैं, all of those kind of symptoms. जहां से आपको पता है कि ये पीरियड चालू हो गया है, ये मेनोपॉजल एज चालू हो गया है. बट सम केसेस में ऐसे है कि इट कैन लास्ट इवन 2 years. इन सम केसेस इट कैन लास्ट अप टू 10 years. सम केसेस यू मे नॉट हैव इट एट ऑल. बट इट इज बेसिकली अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वेयर योर hormones start reducing because of you getting into menopause. So perimenopause can be a very important thing for women in their 30s, because your late 30s are times where you can start getting these symptoms.
ओके, सो देयर इज नो स्टैंडर्ड एज कि आप उसको क्लासिफाई नहीं कर सकते कि नहीं इस एज में स्टार्ट हो जाएगा या फिर 40s में ही होगा, कुछ भी नहीं कह सकते आप.
सो बोलते हैं कि मेनोपॉज अगर 40 से कम होता है, एज इन कंप्लीट मेनोपॉज, then that is called, it's called premature menopause. अगर 30 के पहले if you start having these symptoms, then it is called premature menopause. पर beyond that, anything between your late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, धीरे धीरे कम होते रहता है. ऐसे कुछ एज नहीं है, एंड कुछ अनफॉर्चुनेटली प्रिडिक्शन नहीं है कि आपको कब होगा. पेशेंट्स आते हैं, बोलते हैं लाइक मुझे कब होगा, क्या ये मेनोपॉज है, क्या हो रहा है. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ऐसे हमारे पास कुछ टेस्ट के लिए कुछ है नहीं. नॉर्मली इफ हम देखते हैं कि इफ योर मदर और योर सिस्टर और योर आंट, जो भी ब्लड रिलेशंस है, अगर उनका मेनोपॉज जल्दी हुआ हो या लेट हुआ हो, then that is a predictor for you. Also, agar if you have started your periods little earlier, you may hit menopause little earlier. If your periods have started little late, you may hit menopause a little late. But there is no ऐसे कुछ short predictive way है नहीं हमें देखने के लिए कि when are you hitting menopause or when is this perimenopause going to start.
ओके, मतलब हेरिडिटी थोड़ा बहुत डिटरमिन कर सकती है बट इट्स नॉट अ प्रेडिक्टर. ओके, तो कई बार ऐसा भी होता है जैसे स्ट्रेस हो रहा है या बहुत अनहेल्दी किसी की लाइफस्टाइल है तो भी उनको इस तरीके के सिम्टम्स होने लगते हैं. ऐसा मैंने सुना है कि कई लोगों के साथ पीरियड्स जैसे ऊपर नीचे होने लग जाते हैं या फिर मे बी हॉट फ्लैशेस, इस तरीके की चीज़ें होने लगती हैं. या फिर मान लीजिए किसी को ऐसा सिम्टम अनहेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल की वजह से हो रहा है, तो can it be corrected with a healthy lifestyle or does it lead to an early menopause?
So you've said something very, very, important. Dekho, now your periods are based on multiple hormones. Different hormones act together and, they are in a cycle, and when that cycle happens perfectly, you get your period. But, because there are many hormones, बहुत सारे hormones होते हैं पीरियड साइकिल को रेगुलेट करने के लिए. अगर कुछ भी एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स होता है, लाइक स्ट्रेस, लाइक चेंजेस इन योर डाइट, चेंजेस इन योर एक्सरसाइज, excessive exercise, or you've been exercising for years and you've just stopped for 2 months, physical stress, emotional stress, all of that also affects your period cycle. So when somebody comes with suddenly irregular periods, हम always first ये factors देखते हैं कि did your stress levels change, क्या आपने कुछ diet change किया है, are you eating enough or are you eating too much, have you changed something in your diet, what about your exercise, all of those things. But one of the most important things is stress. And उसके बाद जब period नहीं आता है तो और ज्यादा stress होता है, फिर वापस नहीं आता है, फिर वापस stress होता है. तो it is like a cycle that kind of repeats and repeats. So, of course, the first thing जो हम करते हैं when someone comes with irregular periods is कि let's change your lifestyle. Let's go back to a healthy lifestyle. We'll look at a healthy diet. Again, weight के बारे में नहीं है, though weight does affect your period regularity. But everything is not about weight. It is really about your lifestyle. So it is about your stress factors. Eating a bad diet also makes your body go under physical stress. All of those things. So it does affect. So the first thing we do is put, lifestyle modifications हम करते हैं. Now, if someone is also going through perimenopause or even menopause, it does make a difference what kind of lifestyle you are living. Again, reducing stress, improving your diet, improving your exercise, ये सब help करते हैं. Even with symptoms like hot flashes, weight gain, headaches, palpitations, जो normal देखते हैं हम perimenopause में. So, and we'll get into the symptoms also. But, changing your lifestyle can really impact these, how bad these symptoms are.
ओके, तो अगर ये सब सिर्फ स्ट्रेस की वजह से हो रहा है तो इट कैन बी फिक्स्ड. ऐसा नहीं है कि पेरीमेनोपॉजल हो गया, राइट?
नहीं, that's why it's important to see your gynecologist, because, instead of just self-diagnosing कि नहीं यही है या वो ही है, Your gynecologist goes through all of these things. We look at you. हम आपको चेक करते हैं, आपका हिस्ट्री पूछते हैं, all of these questions पूछ के हम kind of deduce करते हैं कि क्या हो रहा है. We give you like some kind of modifications, lifestyle changes. तो भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, we look at your age. All of those kind of things are looked at.
ओके ओके, अंडरस्टूड। डॉक्टर, आपने बोला कि सिम्टम्स, हम थोड़ा सा और डिटेल में जानना चाहेंगे कि पेरीमेनोपॉज के क्या क्या सिम्टम्स होते हैं।
Of course. So perimenopause, yeah, even when you say I'm menopausal, or when someone on TV says, "Are you menopausal?" Like this is things that are thrown around quite a lot. Mm-hmm. So the symptoms basically is one is irregular periods. Now it could be that कभी-कभी you are getting periods हर 15-15 दिन में periods आ रहे हैं. कभी-कभी कोई लोगों को ऐसा 4 महीने में एक बार आता है, फिर वापस 2 महीना नहीं आता है, देन उसके बाद सडनली बहुत हैवी पीरियड आता है, उसके बाद बहुत लाइट पीरियड आता है. तो देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, एनी काइंड ऑफ पीरियड disturbance that can happen, might just happen. Again, when you get heavy periods, अगर आपको बहुत heavy periods हो रहे हैं suddenly, please आप आपकी gynecologist को दिखाओ, because there are other things also that cause very heavy periods. So, don't say कि हाँ menopause है, ठीक है. But, we do need to see कि क्यों heavy है, क्या हो रहा है. Also, hopefully बहुत blood loss नहीं हो जाए, all of that. But most common symptoms of perimenopause is change in your period cycle. Then we have things like breast tenderness, weight gain, mood swings, palpitations, headaches, sometimes forgetfulness, all of those things, hair loss, all of these hormonal kind of changes. Sometimes you feel like you are PMSing quite a lot. Suddenly you have mood swings. The most popular one, which is hot flashes. Now hot flashes, I'm sure people have heard कि हाँ hot flash है, पर क्या है ये hot flash? Hot flash basically is when your body suddenly heats up and you're sweating, so your body heats up, so it's trying to get rid of that heat. So suddenly आप sweating हो जाता है, you start palpitations, you just suddenly feeling very hot, very irritated, very you're just like बहुत गर्मी हो रही है suddenly. And you may be sitting in the AC, you may be everyone around you may be feeling cold, but you are feeling just very hot. You may be sweat, all of those things. रात को अगर होता है, it's called night sweats. So रात को you suddenly wake up, बेचैनी जैसा होता है, you're again sweaty, you're hot, you've woken up from sleep suddenly in the middle of the night. All of these things again very common in perimenopausal ages. Two other things that I want to talk about with perimenopause. One is, kabhi there is a loss of sex drive. Because one, the libido kind of may reduce, all of those things. Another thing is that estrogen, जो female hormone होता है, that is basically gives a lot of moisture to the body. So when that is removed, when that is reduced, so everything in the body gets dry. So including your vagina. So because of dryness, you may have difficulty having sex. Sometimes pain having sex. Everything is just dry, painful, itchy. Sometimes itching just even without sex. Just itching of, your vaginal region. Increase in UTIs, because again, everything is just dry. So these kind of things also happen. I'm telling everyone this because it's important कि आप जाने कि क्या है. So you know that what you're going through may be because of this, and because you're going through it, there is something that we can do about it. हम आपको help कर सकते हैं इसके साथ.
ओके, आपने एक तो पैल्पिटेशंस बोला, तो पैल्पिटेशंस एग्जैक्टली हार्ट बीट बढ़ना होता है, धीमा होना होता है, चेंज होना होता है, क्या होता है एग्जैक्टली?
बढ़ना ऐसा like धक धक, people say बेचैनी जैसा, your heartbeat is increased, you're very you can hear your heartbeat.
Okay.
Like that.
ओके, एंड यू ऑल्सो मेंशन कि लिबिडो गोज डाउन. तो अगर आपने बोला कि लिबिडो गोज डाउन और दूसरी चीज आपने बोली वजाइनल ड्राइनेस, तो आर दीज कनेक्टेड और इट्स जस्ट कि हाँ लिबिडो गोज डाउन बिकॉज ऑफ हार्मोनल चेंजेस?
So again, it's not कि सब में ऐसा होता है. We're just talking about these are different symptoms. The second is both of them are true. So libido also can go down because hormones are fluctuating. And also sometimes because of dryness, you may not want to at all have sex. You may just say, I can't do it. I'm in too much pain. So then reduce that. So both things are true. It can be interconnected, cannot also be interconnected.
So अब आते हैं सबके पेन पॉइंट पे. लाइक आई थिंक वी women आर मोस्ट कंसर्न्ड अबाउट आवर वेट्स. तो आपने मेंशन किया था कि वेट गेन होता है पेरीमेनोपॉज में. उसके बारे में हमें जरूर थोड़ा बताइए.
Sure. I think you're right. सबको वेट की पड़ी है, including me also. Now, at the end of the day, जो weight होता है, it's not that magically weight gain होता है. It's not that, आप सही सब खा रहे हो, but suddenly you're gaining 10 kilos. That doesn't happen. But when, these hormonal fluctuations जब होते हैं, that really affects your other hormones, which is, things like your insulin, all of those hormones, which manage your weight as well. Now it makes it very difficult to lose weight because you retain a lot of that weight. Again, because of hormonal changes. So you may be eating okay. You may be eating healthy or, a balanced basic diet. But वो weight loss नहीं हो रहा है. अब जो भी करो कम नहीं हो रहा है. Yeah, you may be eating okay and like suddenly you're putting on little weight, thoda sa, or you're going to the gym, you're very active, but fir bhi you're not, back to what you were in your early 30s or your late 20s. You're not at that weight. A lot of times that happens. Again, it is all because of hormonal changes. It's also that आपकी body is now changing a little. Now, because of that, our diet also has to change. Our protein requirement also has to change. The way we are using the body also has to change. We have to adapt to, these hormonal changes, things like that, instead of just, taking some kadha or like, something कि मैं कुछ करूँ and ये जीरा पानी से वजन कम होता है या green tea से वजन कम होता है. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It also takes longer. So, for example, agar in your 30s you were losing weight pretty quickly, it may not be the same now. So, and then हम बोलते 3 महीने हो गए, I'm doing everything right, forget it, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. But it may not take 3 months anymore. It may take 6 months. It may take a year. Progress इतना fast नहीं दिखता है as you would earlier.
Okay, so if someone is like already in a good shape, everything, then they can also put on weight even if they are doing whatever they were doing earlier. Like लोग को लगता है ना कि मैंने तो कुछ change किया नहीं, but अचानक ये क्या हो गया? I remember even my mother was also pretty plump when she was going through this phase.
Yeah, I think that's the normal thing that I've heard. मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं, कुछ बदला ही नहीं, पर like, suddenly ये हो गया. Also, we also kind of overestimate what we're eating. So I always tell patients, first of all, we think we're eating enough protein, we're drinking enough water. So I said there are so many of these calorie counting apps. They also count protein intake. I said log it in. Log in what you eat in a day. You will be able to see how much protein you're having, how many calories you're having, what are you really eating in a day. Because at the end of the day, more than quantity, it's about quality. So it's not कि मैं एक ही रोटी खाती हूँ and मैं कुछ नहीं खाती हूँ, मैं कुछ dessert नहीं खा. It's not about quantity. It's about the quality. कि in that, one roti and what are you eating? सब्जी खा रहे हो, salad खा रहे हो, क्या खा रहे हो? And also roti, sabzi, does not have any protein in it. Dal also doesn't have a lot of protein.
Yeah.
So we really need to see कि कितना प्रोटीन हम खा रहे हैं, कितना ले रहे हैं, because proteins are the building blocks of the body. So, that also really helps regulate weight as well.
Okay. अब क्योंकि डाइट की बात आ ही गई है तो लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस के बारे में थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं एंड मे बी देयर आर सम supplements, something, or maybe some diet changes that you'd like to recommend.
So now again, if you're going through perimenopause or menopause, or anybody that's going through this, here are a few things that can help from a broad lifestyle perspective. One is, let's talk about diet later, but let's talk about general things in your life. Now, if you have hot flashes, अगर आपको hot flashes हो रहे हैं या night sweats हो रहे हैं, I would recommend sticking to looser cotton clothes. like say this, like a kurta, or, like a loose top and pants. Look at cotton underwear. Don't go out in the absolute sun. When you come back from the sun, then sit in the shade for a bit. Sit, drink enough water, hydrate well. All of these things, they seem small, but they are very useful to prevent these symptoms. Hydration again is very important. Now talking about diet, as we said, protein बहुत जरूरी है. And ideally, we should be having about 60 grams of protein at the minimum. We say 1 gram of protein per kilogram of weight.
Yeah.
So, that's the minimum. And if you want to build muscle, then we, say 1.5 grams. So, but at least 1 gram per kg of weight. So, if you're a 60 kilo person, then about 60 grams of protein. So, we need to actually see if we're reaching that amount of protein, not for the calories. So, for example, we need to balance everything out. Enough amount of vegetables, enough amount of fruits. Perimenopause, constipation, all of those things are also very common. So, increasing your fiber intake, increasing whole grains, reducing processed food. So, anything in a can, anything jo freeze karte hain, not the best. Anything with preservatives, avoid. Nowadays, plastic also has been shown to have something called endocrine disruptors, which means they have, they contain chemicals that can affect your hormones. So we say now, we do this a lot for fertility patients also, and I think we should do it for everybody. Avoid plastic containers. So जब आप खाना खा रहे हो या कुछ भी, try using glass containers. पानी भी आप स्टोर कर रहे हो फ्रिज में, लेके जा रहे हो काम पे, like try using glass instead of using plastic. So that's something that, again, is very recent. It's very current that there's all this research that's happening to avoid plastic. So that's something we should do.
One thing I'd like to add here कि हमें ज़्यादातर ये बताया जाता है कि if you are having something in plastic तो गर्म नहीं होना चाहिए.
हाँ,
मतलब
that's
अगर
very
ठंडा
true.
है तो it's okay, but you are saying कि पानी भी स्टोर नहीं करना चाहिए.
Ideally, no.
Okay.
बट हम आइडियल वर्ल्ड में तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली रहते नहीं है, तो ऐसे नहीं है कि पीना ही नहीं चाहिए एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. इट्स फाइन, बट जितना तर आप अवॉइड कर सकते हैं, दैट्स गुड. सो इफ यू हैव एन ऑप्शन बिटवीन ग्लास एंड प्लास्टिक, गो फॉर ग्लास. बट ऑप्शन है ही नहीं, then you have to live with the life that we're living.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that also eating enough whole grains, eating having enough fluids, even fruits and vegetables. Fruits are very good, but don't drink your fruits. Eat your fruits instead, because you lose the fiber when you drink. Also, the amount of fruit that you will drink is far more than what you. So, look at watermelon. हम एक पूरा watermelon नहीं खा सकते एक time पे. But 2 glasses of watermelon juice is sometimes 1 watermelon. It's quite, it's quite a lot.
We have talked about food and talked about hydration, और जनरली लोग ये भी पूछते हैं कि इस एज में हमें कौन से सप्लीमेंट्स लेने चाहिए, और सप्लीमेंट्स की बात आती है तो लोगों के दिमाग में आयरन और कैल्शियम आ जाता है. बट आई हैव ऑल्सो हर्ड अबाउट द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ मैग्नीशियम, कॉपर, और वैसे भी ये भी होता है कि भाई डॉक्टर सबको उन्हीं के लेवल के हिसाब से रेकमेंड करते हैं कि उनकी बॉडी को क्या ज़रूरत है. तो वीड लाइक टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस फ्रॉम यू.
I think it's very important to, as you said, see individually कि आपको exactly क्या लेना चाहिए, या आपके बॉडी के हिसाब से, your needs के हिसाब से क्या important है. Because at the end of the day, supplements are just supplements. Like they are not, it's not magically going to change your life. But sometimes people need something. So for example, menopause के बाद osteoporosis is very common in women. And bone density gets lesser, and bones get less stronger. So we recommend that menopause ke baad or around that time, it is important for every woman to have calcium supplementation. That's like a blanket statement. Again, iron depends on if your levels are low. Only then we would suggest. Another thing in India is vitamin D deficiency is very common. Indians are naturally very vitamin B12 and vitamin D3, and especially if you're a vegetarian. But again, this makes sense to see your levels, do the blood test. Normally in your yearly checkup, it does come. But it makes sense to check your levels and do it. Now, multivitamin, I think is like sometimes not required unless there is something that is there. So, for example, you're having problems sleeping or you're having cramps. That may show a little magnesium deficiency. Then we'll try giving you something with magnesium. Um, sometimes you may just be feeling tired, or you're getting sick very often. So then we try giving zinc. Sometimes you may be having hair loss. So we do give you a hair, kind of biotin, collagen, all of those. Follow a more personalized approach to it.
ओके इसमें जैसे आपने बताया कि अगर आपकी साइकिल में या जो आपने रिलेटेड सिम्टम्स बताया इसमें कोई भी चेंज आता है कुछ नया होता है तो यू हैव टू सी अ गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट इज देयर एवर अ कॉज टू वरी व्हेन यू आर गोइंग थ्रू पेरीमेनोपॉज
So one is that symptoms, some of these symptoms, seem fine. Like, ठीक है, hot flashes है, तो क्या? But, sometimes they're not so easy for everyone to go through. Sometimes they may be very severe. So, for example, symptoms like vaginal dryness, sometimes even the mental health symptoms, severe mood swings, depression, anxiety, all of these parts, don't have to be dealt with alone, or don't have to be like, हाँ ठीक है सबको होता है. There's a lot we can do. It's not that you have to worry about everything, but there is something we can do. Another important thing is it's also not everything is not just about perimenopause. There can be other factors also. So we recommend that you get your mammograms, every 3 years. We recommend that you get your pap smears done every 3 or 5 years, depending on which one you do. We still recommend all of these things. We recommend the general checkup, because there's so many other things that we also need to see for, we also need to examine for, we also need to check for.
ओके अपनी बॉडी को सपोर्ट करने के लिए लाइक इन लेट 30s व्हाट कैन वी स्टार्ट डूइंग लाइक एनी लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस और एनीथिंग एल्स so that we are better prepared for perimenopause and related phases?
I think the most important thing you can do is manage your lifestyle, which means your diet, your exercise, and reduce stress. These three things are the key to any kind of hormonal issue, from PCOS to menopause. Really, managing your lifestyle is very underrated, but it's so important. However, it is a daily process, and it never ends. It's not easy. Because every day you have to wake up and decide that today I'm going to eat healthy, today I'm going to work out, today I'm going to do something about my stress. So, for example, following something like mindfulness, meditation, gratitude exercises, something that has been shown to actually reduce stress and stress hormones. So, but you have to do it every day, day in, day out. It has to become a lifestyle. Not just a diet or an exercise pattern, not just 3 months ke liye and then, I lose the weight, then I'm fine. It's again not about weight. It's just about your lifestyle.
ओके डॉक्टर एशा ने यहाँ पे एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट बात बोली एंड आई वाज अबाउट टू से दिस आल्सो कि डाइट करना या डाइट पे चेंजेस लाना या फिर वर्कआउट करना फिर भी आसान है बट जब कोई कहता है स्ट्रेस मैनेज करो तो वी आर ऑलवेज लाइक स्ट्रेस कैसे मैनेज कर सकते हैं मतलब बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं जो हर दिन अलग अलग होती हैं और हमें लगता है कि स्ट्रेस तो एक पार्ट है लाइफ का लाइक इसके बिना हम रह नहीं सकते कमिंग फ्रॉम अ डॉक्टर इट्स रियली गुड टू हियर कि उन्होंने सजेस्ट की थिंग्स लाइक जर्नलिंग या फिर ग्रैटिट्यूड प्रैक्टिस या मेडिटेशन आई थिंक ये जो चीज़ें हैं आप इनको ट्राई कर सकते हैं क्योंकि स्ट्रेस मैनेज करना आसान नहीं है आई थिंक डॉक्टर एक ये भी चीज़ होती है कि अगर किसी से हम ये बोल देते हैं कि आपको ये सारी चेंजेस करने हैं वो भी स्ट्रेस कॉज कर सकता है लाइक बोल दिया कि कल से आपको धीरे धीरे अपनी लाइफस्टाइल हेल्दी करनी है हेल्दी चीज़ें खानी है या फिर आपको वर्कआउट शुरू करना है तो मेरे जैसे लोगों को तो उसी से स्ट्रेस हो जाता है कि अरे ये भी करना है
100%. No, it is stressful, and also, I think अभी लोगों को सब instant चाहिए.
Yeah.
It's just you tell them कि अभी 3 months we'll see, and they're like 3 months, like give me some tablet, like, and we're like okay, do the work. No, कोई गोली नहीं है कुछ करने के लिए, मैं रोज दूंगी. And honestly, that's why all of these companies that kind of like they profit off people saying weight loss ki tablet, To have some powder to lose weight or some gummies to lose weight. It's nothing will help. It is just you at the end of the day. It is what goes in comes out, including effort. So, I think it's very important ki we go back to not wanting instant results. Everything takes time. And sometimes हमें पता भी नहीं है, like, a lot of times people say, मैं तो 2 साल से कर रही हूँ ये lifestyle change, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. That's not the point. The point is it is preventative, right? You asked me, what can we do to help? What can we do to reduce, these kind of issues in the future? So, it is a long-term process. I think that is very important. So I always tell my patients this: be patient with yourselves and be patient with me.
Don't expect instant results and trust the process. आई थिंक मेरी पॉडकास्ट में एक बड़ी थीम बनती जा रही है, ट्रस्ट द प्रोसेस. हम लोग बहुत सारे एपिसोड में ये बात बोल चुके हैं.
No, but it's true. Everything takes time. And, I have been told this by multiple people in multiple parts of my life. Everything takes time.
Yeah. And doctor, one more thing, alcohol. Alcohol के very common, like कोई ज्यादा भी ड्रिंक नहीं करता होगा तो मे बी मंथ में 1-2 बार कर ही लेता होगा कि चलो कॉकटेल ही पी लिया, थोड़ा सा रेड वाइन पी लिया. बट आई हैव हर्ड कि ये भी पेरीमेनोपॉज है या मेनोपॉजल सिम्टम्स हैं, इसको मेसअप कर सकता है. तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज दैट?
So, there has been a latest study that talks about or that proves that no alcohol is good for you.
Yeah.
So, earlier हम बोलते थे नहीं, red wine is fine, or whiskey is okay, one glass, in 2 days is okay, or, one peg in a week is okay. Now the latest study talks about nothing is okay. So it's not, nothing is good for you. So everything is basically, all alcohol is considered bad. So at the end of the day, it is, I think just because it's bad doesn't mean I'm going to say stop drinking completely.
Yeah.
I think it's not possible. A lot of us enjoy, having a drink, and that's absolutely fine. However, it does affect menopausal symptoms, especially hot flashes and things like that. However, it may not completely affect if you're not drinking heavily. But I would say limit your intake. Try sticking to clear alcohol. And another thing is, be very important with your mixers. So don't mix, like add in something sweet. So juice or a Coke or, Sprite. Anything sweet, no sugar syrup should be added in. It makes the hangover worse. It makes, the metabolism of alcohol worse. It also is sugar, and you don't realize because everything tastes nice. And 8 cocktail becomes 2 cocktails, becomes 4 cocktails. And it's all sugar apart from alcohol. So I think we should be smart about what we drink, how we drink. Hydrate well while drinking. So I know a lot of people who will have a glass of water after every glass of alcohol they have, but hydrate well.
Yeah. आपसे बात करने के बाद मुझे एजिंग से और ज्यादा डर लगने लगा कि मतलब, और बहुत बोरिंग भी लगने लगा है कि ये नहीं कर सकते, ये भी नहीं कर सकते, ये चेंज करो, ऐसे करो. करना भी जरूरी है बिकॉज आवर बॉडी चेंजेस, एंड आई थिंक अ वुमेन्स बॉडी चेंजेस मोर देन अ मैन्स. और मेंटली भी हम लोग थोड़ा परेशान हो जाते हैं. लाइक अगर हमें फर्स्ट थिंग तो बहुत सारे लोग प्रिपेयर ही नहीं होते हैं, उनको एकदम से झटका लगता है कि ये क्या होने लगा मेरी बॉडी में. बट अगर आपने ये एपिसोड सुना है या फिर आपके पास पहले से इस चीज़ की इन्फॉर्मेशन है पेरीमेनोपॉज के बारे में या अपनी 40s के बारे में कि क्या चेंजेस होते हैं बॉडी में, तो यू आर बेटर इक्विप्ड टू डील विद इट. बट आई थिंक उसके साथ मेंटल स्ट्रेस भी आता है कि ओ मैं तो बुढ़ी हो रही हूँ, ये सब हो रहा है. तो मेंटल स्ट्रेस से डॉक्टर अगर डील करना है तो किस तरीके से लोगों को हम इसके लिए प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं, अपने आप को इसके लिए प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि बिकॉज एजिंग के अराउंड बहुत सारे फियर्स होते हैं एंड आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ देम.
No, of course. And I think my intention was not कि सबको डराऊं.
Yeah.
That's not the intention of any doctor. It is just the intention that I feel that people should know.
Yeah, exactly. तभी आप रेडी हो. अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है तो क्या होगा?
You shouldn't wake up one day and be like, ये होता है, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था. So I'm of the belief that you should know. I always inform, especially my patients, anything that, is happening. I always tell them, this is what it is and this is what we can do about it. I think what we should look at more than ये नहीं करना चाहिए या ये करना चाहिए is ये opportunity है. We have time. It's also everybody ages, okay, and everyone's been aging for the last million years. It's a natural process. I think accepting that and also being the healthiest you can be is, I think, all we can do. बाकी तो हमारे हाथ में तो है नहीं. So, I think there's no need to panic because there's nothing scary about it. It's something we all go through. But if we can do something to help ourselves, then why not? And, just changing your lifestyle, anyway, we all know हमें करना चाहिए. So it's not something new. हमें सब पता है कि हाँ डाइट फिक्स करना है, एक्सरसाइज करना है, सब पता है हमें. But, actually doing it is something that we should do out of opportunity so that, we do not, we can be better for ourselves in the future. Rather than doing it as something like, oh shit, ye hoega if I don't. So I believe in everything in moderation. Like, sab karo, but do everything moderately, you will be great.
ओके यस. तो प्रिपेयर होना बहुत ज़रूरी है और मतलब हमें हमेशा ही हेल्दी रहना ज़रूरी है अपने लिए, अपने लव्ड वंस के लिए. तो एज डॉक्टर एशा सेड कि टेक दिस एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी कि धीरे धीरे अपनी लाइफस्टाइल में हेल्दी चेंजेस लाते हैं. एंड बिकॉज वी वांट टू लिव नॉट जस्ट अ लॉन्ग लाइफ, वी वांट टू लिव अ हेल्दी लाइफ. डॉक्टर एशा, बिफोर वी लीव, आई वुड ऑल्सो लाइक टू नो फ्रॉम यू, is there any one thing which is non-negotiable for women's health?
Seeing your gynecologist. I'm not kidding, I think everybody is so scared.
So scared, yes.
But we are here to help you. We have become doctors. We've studied for, I think, almost 20 years or whatever to help you. So, it is very important that you use this help. And also, it's very lucky that, especially India, doctors are available to you. Compared to the US or Canada or wherever, where you have to go through a long process to actually get to your specialist. It is, doctors here are available to you. But, doing things like screening for cervical cancer, screening for breast cancer, doing your pap smears, taking your HPV vaccine, doing your checkups to see what deficiencies you have, and addressing any of the problems you have. All of these things will help save your own life and will help improve the quality of your own life. So, I think really one thing that's really non-negotiable is seeing your doctor.
Yes. So, ladies, see your gynecologist, and I need to tell this to myself also. And now it's time to wrap up the episode. But Dr. Esha, हमें ये बताइए कि अगर लोग आपके वर्क के बारे में ज़्यादा जानना चाहते हैं तो आपसे वो कैसे कनेक्ट हो सकते हैं?
Sure. So I practice in Mumbai. I'm at Surya Hospital in Mumbai. I have my clinic in Juhu and in Shivaji Park. And otherwise, if you're not from here but still want to see me, I do online consultations. It's on the link in my bio. I'm on Instagram as Premaa Health, which is PREMAAHEALTH.
Okay, and I will link this doctor's Instagram on the show notes and podcast description so you can connect with her easily. Dr. Esha Chainani, thank you so much for giving your valuable time because we all understand कि आपका schedule बहुत busy होता है, बहुत erratic होता है, but you took out an hour to make us aware of our health. So thank you so much.
I'm so happy you're doing this podcast because it's so important for, people to know, especially women to know what they're going through. So I think it's wonderful. I'm so happy to be here.
Now that you have all the information, you are better prepared to deal with the changes in your body as you age. Let's try to celebrate every phase of our lives. What say? और कोई अगर हेल्थ रिलेटेड एडवाइस चाहिए तो डॉक्टर एशा तो है ही. अगर आपको ये एपिसोड वैल्यूएबल लगा तो प्लीज हेल्प लिटिल फिक्सेस reach more people by sharing it with someone you care about. You can also give us a shout out on Instagram. मेरा handle है @littlefixespodcast. Can you do me a favor? Please subscribe to Little Fixes on your podcast app and rate and review us. All this helps me in growing the podcast और बहुत सारे और लोगों की हेल्प भी होती है इसको सुन के. आई एम ग्रेटफुल फॉर योर टाइम और अब मिलते हैं 5 मार्च को। तब तक के लिए खुद से प्यार करते रहो और सदा सैसी रहो। बाय।